So, I think I'm at the end of, at least, is there anything else I forgot about? Is there anything? Anything I didn't write down that now I'm sitting there writing it down because I'm like, fuck this, I'm tired of this shit? Every fucking 6 years. Every fucking 6 years. Every 5 to 6 years. Every fucking thing in my life. Every single fucking time. So, because actually there is this is why this video is being made. It's not that I forgot about anything. It's that yeah, slight details, right? Slight fucking details. Wow. Before, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like if I go to talk about one of these things, it's going to make me forget the rest of the things, like, that I'm holding in place in my mind right now. That's crazy. This is fucking crazy. Like, maybe I should go into, like, like the whole thing, like, it's kind of interesting. It's like, the man, yo, the man that gave me the test was one of the people who were running the test on me in kindergarten. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm when the regular tests were done, these were special tests. It was like, guess what's on the other side of the card, like type tests, like psychic tests. And the thing is, it's like the funny part is like, is like I was able to somewhat guess what the was on the other side of the cards. And I ask myself, because there was that's the whole point. It's like it's them being able to do what they were able to do. And then there was a part of guessing on my own, and there was a part of somebody describing and me being able to hear what they were saying. And the thing is, as I started thinking about that this morning, and the man who was administering the test, it's funny because no, actually there was two people, but this person, I don't think, was able to do the he did the normal regular tests. uh that's why it's like, I'm thinking to myself about the two different tests is the biggest point, other than who one of those people turn out to be later on in life, as far as encounters go. And that's why this whole thing is so crazy, because I don't even want to say anything anymore to anything anymore. um this morning I was thinking of that, and I'm saying to myself, like, like, was it me or was it somebody else? There was two parts to the test. It was being able to guess what was on the other side of the card without looking, why somebody was holding the card, and then there was, somebody describing what was on the other side of the card and being able to say, what it is that they were describing to me. And through psychic ways, right? So it's like, the point being is that, I was sitting there, I was laying there this morning and I was thinking of this, and I said to myself, maybe I'm not as good as, and that's where it's interesting, because it's like, I started thinking, it's like, well, Anthony, is there any type of reference point that you could use to one way or another this? And it's like, I could sit there and say, like, when myself goes into hyper awareness, all right, it's very, very difficult to, like, and I can back that up with the video games. When I go into hyper awareness, it's like, forget about the whole God of War thing and, like, the video game doing shit that I never seen in any video whatsoever. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. 14 fucking hours or so, 14 hours, bloody thumbs. I'm sitting there like, this motherfucker is gonna die. Because I'm just, because this is, it's fun to talk about that when it's like that, but then it's like, well, that's not good enough, because I could predict every time he went to go swing at me, or this or that, or at least 90% of that, and it's like, that's where the other part of hyper awareness comes in. I said, well, what other thing? And it says, and then I said, I showed that picture, and that's why it was like that picture. It's like, once I got good at the game, once I was able to become good at the game itself and somewhat understand the quirks of the two computer players that they gave me in the game of Rainbow Six, that was way more intense than a character boss fight or something inside of a game like God of War. It's not, can I predict their strikes? It was literally like the game was doing things that it should not have been doing. Like, it started getting so mad at me. And that way I say that is, that's the only way I can say that, is the game started getting so mad at me. It would completely, like it did so many different things. Like, like, when in this one level, after running through the boards, literally like 3-4 times a day, I was able to run through the boards and not die. And that alone in that game, Rainbow Six, Vegas 2, is extremely fucking difficult at every fucking level. That is, and I'm talking like, we're talking max everything, fucking this, that, and fucking just, like, we're talking max level. Like, I wasn't, there's no way I did not do fucking Lone Wolf. There was no way for me to do Lone Wolf in that game. That's the only thing I can say, is that I might have been able to get through a couple levels, but not like that. Like, I could not. I needed the other two, because there's so many characters inside of each board, and it's not the first 15 dudes that come running out, because that's just has to happen. That's period. Like, it doesn't matter if they come running out of here or running out of there. It's gonna happen. So that's usually like, that's the easy part. It's getting down to the very last couple of people, and this is what I signified in my head this morning, because I'm saying to myself, it's like, once it got down to And there's more after this. It's like, I'm saying, it was like once it got down to the last 5 or 6 guys, it became extremely more difficult because they were, then at that point, they were setting up ambushes. And the game, it calls out to you, like, it sets traps, it does things, and they could come. I mean, the board is the board. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting gunfire from, you know, outside the actual containment of the board. Like, so you can see other places out there, and you're like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like there's definitely nothing coming from this direction, or whatever edge you're on. And the point being is that it would get down to like the last few people on each level, but this one particular level, it's like there was two. There was a night and day version of it, and the the night version was just as difficult, crazy difficult. But it was that particular level, like, where most of the intensity would come from, where literally, like, the guys themselves, like the last few remaining characters in the level would I mean, they started doing. I mean, there was other boards too, so that's what I'm saying. It's just that I remember this one the most because it's like so many things were you could the bullets would go through so many different you could shoot through different things and peg somebody that's on, like a wall or two away, you know and it's like how many times, like, that game would freeze on me in general when I was hunting the last guy. And it started to do things that, like, it started to literally, like one of I mean, it started dropping people in rooms that were completely closed off. Like, there was no way in from the top, the bottom, the left, the right, any other way other than the doorway. And it started to drop people in the room with me, behind me. Like, it's insane. Like, my heightened awareness, like, you wouldn't hear them there. That's the thing. You wouldn't even hear them drop through, or like, I mean maybe like a slight tinge once in a while, but other than that, it's like, yo, man. And it's like, to sit there and think of how many times, like, I turned around at the right second, knowing that something was right there about to happen, and boom. And then it's like, from that, the game got so fucking pissed off that at one point, um and you could pull up a map of the aerial map, and if somebody had any view contact whatsoever, you could see the bleep on the screen. Like, how many times, though, you would hear the character, and you would hear the character, but and the voice, it wasn't like he just dropped into, like, an abyss section of a game. Like, you would hear his voice over here, and then it's like, he's like, hey, come get me, motherfucker, or some shit. And it's like, the thing is, the character was just not in the game. And it was during those time periods where literally, like, the character would just drop from absolutely nowhere, or walk through a wall to come up behind me. That's where it's like the heightened sense of awareness of, like, knowing something is wrong. And this was only a video game, but now that's going up against the computer, which I was pissing off the computer. And that's where it gets to the whole point where it's like, pretty much, like, at a given point of that game, I pissed off the computer so freaking vigorously bad, because once it started doing that, I started getting really pissed. And I started making sure that every single freaking time I even attempted to fucking, it was a headshot. you know? And, yeah, so that was really pissing the computer off a lot. And, it got to the point where the game was, freezing from the minute I put targets on anybody's head in the game. It was freezing the game. The game was freezing. The minute I lined them up in my sights, the game was freezing. So it was not allowing me to play the game unless I played less of myself so that the game could keep up with me. It was pretty. So then that's only the game part. Then there's the then there was the yeah, it wouldn't freeze as long as I didn't shoot them in the face. I was like, what? Why can't I shoot you in the face? You're a video game, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so then there was so then I would play in the group rooms with people, and it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like how many times it came down to me and one other person left in the game, and like just to think like how many times, because then you'd have to go hunt. You know that it's not the computer. You know it's somebody thinking. You know what I'm saying, on the other side. And it's like how many times, like, and if you stay in one spot, it's one thing, but other people can see what you're doing. And yeah, it's like that's the whole point. It's like other people can. I'm pretty. Yeah, I don't remember if you could hear them after they leave or not. But the point is like the whole, like, like that when the other person and me would go at it on that type of a level, it's like how many times, like, I would just know. I would just know, like, I would know. And that's the thing. It's like it wasn't perfect every time, but a lot of the times. That's why it's like I gained freaking, respect amongst people that, like, that it was harder when I got to freaking when I was trying to do the Ace Combat thing, because I didn't understand anything when it came to freaking. I knew I was halfway good and I wanted to play with other people, but I just didn't freaking understand, like, the partnership thing, and having, I didn't know how to even attempt to be somebody's buddy in that game to go further, because I was just freaking one man out pretty much. So yeah, very like that. So it doesn't matter about that. The point being is that it's when I was going up against other actual players, you know, and so many. It's just like, how did you know that I was right there? Or it was like just freaking turning around at the right second. It's like, now they weren't obviously dropping out of fucking, places where there wasn't a doorway or a stairway or this. It was just that, it was way more intense, knowing like somebody could be right there, and knowing that they were right there, to not walk into the fucking. And that's why, who the fuck knows, man. It's just that's the first thing I want to say. And then because it goes back, I'm saying it goes back to those tests. And then it started making me think about, all the other shit when I was a kid. And I was like, like the whole spider thing. Like, I remember more. It's like there was those two encounters. It's what I'm saying. It's like there was those two uh, first encounters. That's a very important thing too, because it's like I remember, like, when that first started. I mean, I was coming home. I like I don't know, how old was I, man. The other thing took place when I was 1.5. That's my first steps in life. the first times I was the first time I was learning to walk. Like that is my first steps in life, that whole memory. And that was happening before uh, the spiders come into the situation, um, or the Tupac first encounter with Tupac. And so it's like I'm pretty sure that this is what, yeah, I'm pretty sure that that happened. You know what? I don't know. Did it happen first or did it happen second? I do not know. I don't know if the first encounter with the first spider was that, or that where we're in the woods, or if the one where I was playing with the spider in my room, that was the first time. I think the first time was me playing with the spider in the room. That's where freaking, and that's the whole, yeah, because that's when I didn't, because it's what happened during that situation that I was pissed off at the second time. Now the first time, um, the for a couple days, this me and this spider, I told you, it's like, and I'm blocking them off, and I'm blocking them off. Well, her actually, it was a girl's voice, and it was just like, it was like, well, are you gonna kill me or not? It was like, you frustrate me. And I remember with the first things that, it's like, no, I just want to play with you. And it was like, well, how the hell are you gonna play with me? You're so big and I'm so small. And it was like, wow, man. It was the reaction out of the people that showed up that I know. Um, the whole thing is that that's the whole thing. It's like the reason I'm bringing this all back up is because, I mean, we played for like a few days. It was like, every day I was playing with this, and it would come out and talk to me, and it was like, wow, that's great, that's freaking amazing. I had a friend, and then it's like, wow. And then fucking, to make sure that I really feel like a loser. I'm making sure that I'm documenting this to really, really feel like a fucking loser. You fucking scumbag motherfuckers that did this shit. And it's like fucking wow, man. Of course, everybody fucking found out, and then it was like, oh, he's the fucking, you know, it's like I remember the spider. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know what else to fucking say anymore. I'm so disgusted with so many fucking people. It's like you put me in the worst fucking, and then you helped fucking people that are. I hope that fucking everybody fucking gets what they fucking deserve, which is nothing. Death. Fucking. I don't care anymore. Dude, I don't have no feelings. There's so little. If there's any, there's nothing. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's fucking. I don't know. So it's the spider, and so it's like and it was like, pick up a pencil, and it was like, it would crawl along the pencil, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna get you, and then it was like, and I'd switch the other side of the pencil, and then the freaking, it's like, swinging the pencil back and forth, and the spider would drop down and swing from the thread, crawl back up, spin it around. It was cool, you know. The thing that was That's why it's like it's really fucked up because when my father heard me playing with somebody and he was like, who are you talking to? And he seen me playing with the spider and he freaked out. He was like, Anthony, you don't fucking, he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, boom. And as the spider got afraid at that point, because that's what I'm saying. It's like we had already it already showed me some. See, that's why I don't even want to talk about this shit, because the thing is, it showed me. It's like so. It was so special, and it was like at the same time, it's like I just don't know what to fucking say to people anymore in life. I don't know what to fucking say to people in life because what the fuck's been done to me by jealous fucking old men who were fucking jealous. That's the worst fucking part. Is like you're jealous of a fucking 5-year old. You're jealous of a 3-year-old kid. Holy shit! Like I just can't. Oh my god. And then it's like wow. It's like wow. It's like as I think about all of these things that started to happen, and it's like I'm thinking in my fucking head like wow, like what the fuck were these motherfuckers? Like, how did this not fucking, yo, man, I should have just gotten the fuck away from, and, yo, man, that's it. And how many times I thought I had friends, and it's like, what friends? What friends, man? The thing that it did not show me, um, it showed me, it told me like on like the third day or so. It said, Anthony, I want you to trust me, and I'm like, what do you mean? And it was like I want you to squash me, and I was like, what? Freaking I squashed. I was like, I'll be back tomorrow. Trust me. How are you gonna be back tomorrow if I squish you? And then it was like just do it and blah blah blah. So I crushed the spider and took 2 days. The next day I didn't see the spider, and that was I say the spider, the spirit, and after I so the next day I did not see it, and that was a test for me. That was it was like the spider wanted to see how I reacted to it not being there the next day. I want to cry, and and then the next day it showed up. It tells me this, and it's like I wanted to see how you reacted to me not being there, and it was like, well, don't do that. You made me crush you, and it's like I didn't think you were gonna be around, and blah blah blah, and you're my friend, and that's the thing. It's like that day. It's like when when my father heard me playing with somebody or me talking. It didn't hear the other voice. It didn't hear the fucking the freaking my father was like, Anthony, what are you doing? And freaking he went to go like smack the freaking pencil out of my hand with the spider on it, and I forget the spider's name. I forget the spirit's name. And the spider went when it went to crawl up onto my arm. It nicked me, and I felt it, and then it's like this big commotion started, and it was like, oh, it bit you, and it was like this and that. It's like you gotta kill it, Anthony. You gotta kill it, and I'm like, I don't want to kill it, and freaking, it's like at that point, the spider got afraid, and when it got afraid, it started to change shape into a different spider, and then it changed again into a different spider. It was pretty fucking it was pretty intense. I remember my father saying that's what they do. That's what they do. They trick you. They trick you. That's what they do. It's what they do. And it's funny because the reason I'm saying I gotta make this I guess short because it's already at 30 and it's gonna clip off. So it's like it's interesting that my father reacted that way, and then later on in life he told me different. He told me different things. He told me that he's like they ain't gonna because I started getting afraid of spiders, and that's why. But he changed his whole like persona. He started saying like as long as you don't bother them, they won't bother you. It's like it's like that's why I'm saying it's like that's why it's an interesting whole set of memories there. I want to make more, so I'm gonna clip this.